August 7, 1984. A quiet winter's night in the Melbourne suburb of Ferntree Gully. Inside one ordinary house, a mother and her daughter lay sleeping. Before dawn, their lives would end. The one who should protect did not. The one who should sleep did not wake. This is the tragic tale of Margaret and Seana Tapp. If you love true stories that twist your mind and leave you questioning everything, you're in the right place. This is part of our 10 Unsolved Crimes That Will Blow Your Mind series. Stories of fear, mystery, and impossible truth. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and dive with us into the world's darkest secrets. Margaret Christine Tapp was 35 years old, a nurse by training, studying law part-time, ambitious and determined. She was a single mother to a bright 9-year-old girl named Seana, cheerful, curious, full of life. They lived together with their dog in a modest house on Kelvin Drive, a quiet street where everyone knew everyone. To neighbors, they were just another loving mother and daughter, living an ordinary suburban life. But ordinary lives can hold extraordinary danger. Margaret had built her world from the ground up. She worked long shifts, came home tired but smiling, always saving the last smile for Seana. Their nights were simple: homework, bedtime stories, quiet laughter. Margaret's dream was to build a better future for both of them. She had friends, colleagues, a small but close circle. The house they lived in had been arranged through a family friend, a doctor who helped her secure it. Everything seemed steady, safe, but the back door had a fault, a lock that didn't quite catch. Margaret knew about it, planned to fix it soon. She never got the chance. On the night of August 7th, the air was cold, the wind barely whispering through the trees. Inside the house, the lights went out one by one. Seana was tucked into bed, clutching her stuffed toy. Margaret turned off the hallway light and closed her door. Silence settled over the house. Somewhere outside, a figure watched. He knew the door. He knew the house. He knew they were alone. In the stillness of the night, the back door creaked. A soft footstep. Another. The intruder entered without force. He didn't need to break in. He moved quietly with confidence. In the hallway, the sound of breathing filled the darkness. Margaret stirred, perhaps sensing something was wrong. Before she could scream, rough hands found her. A rope slipped around her throat. The struggle was brief, silent, efficient. The mother never had a chance. Then the killer turned toward the small bedroom down the hall. Seana, only 9, half awake, confused. The shadow over her bed, a whisper, the rope again, the innocence stolen in moments. And then, silence. Morning came. The world outside moved as usual. Neighbors walked their dogs. Cars rolled past the quiet house on Kelvin Drive. Inside, 2 bodies lay still. Margaret in her bed, her hands crossed over her chest. Seana in hers, her small frame cold beneath the blanket. No broken windows, no forced door, no sign of struggle beyond the horror left behind. Only footprints, faint in the soft soil outside, leading away. When the police arrived, the scene was eerie. Nothing stolen, no signs of robbery. The killer had come for them, and only them. Who could do this? Why? Detectives searched the rooms. They found the thin cord used to strangle Margaret. The footprints, size consistent with Dunlop volleys, a common shoe. They found traces of semen on Seana's clothing. The mother and daughter had been taken in their sleep. No neighbor heard a sound. The dog, strangely, hadn't barked. Was it someone familiar? Someone the dog trusted? The investigation began immediately. Friends, colleagues, and acquaintances were questioned. Margaret's social life, her connections, her past, everything examined. There were whispers about the doctor who had helped her get the house, about jealousy, envy, hidden affairs. But nothing solid emerged, no arrests, no confessions. Just suspicion, circling like smoke. Days turned into weeks, then months. The headlines faded, but the questions didn't. Who entered that house? How did he know they were alone? Why leave everything untouched except their lives? Some believed it was a stranger, a predator lurking for opportunity. Others whispered it was someone she knew, someone she trusted. The lack of forced entry kept that suspicion alive. The idea that evil might wear a familiar face. Years passed. The case went cold. Files gathered dust, memories blurred, and yet the pain remained. Margaret's family never recovered. Her son, who had moved away, lived the rest of his life wondering if he could have saved them. The neighbors never forgot the night their street became a crime scene. Children grew up hearing the story of the mother and daughter who never woke up. Decades later, a spark reignited the case. A DNA match was reported. A man named Russell John Gissa was arrested. At last, it seemed justice would come. But then, disaster. The evidence had been contaminated. The DNA results were unreliable. Charges were dropped. The family's hope collapsed once again. An apology was made, but apologies cannot replace truth. The tragedy of Margaret and Seana Tapp was not just their deaths. It was the years of silence that followed, the empty answers, the broken promises, the reminder that even in peaceful suburbs, darkness waits just beyond the door. People built theories to fill the void. Some said it was a random intruder. Some said the doctor's wife, jealous or enraged. Some believed Seana, not Margaret, was the true target. Others blamed police incompetence, claiming the killer's trail was lost in the first 48 hours. But through all the noise, one fact remains. No one has ever been charged. No one has ever confessed. And somewhere out there, the person who did this still lives. Unseen, unknown. The house still stands. The same walls that once echoed with laughter now hold only silence. The lock on the back door, long replaced, but the memory remains. Those who pass by say they can't help but glance at the windows. Some say at night, a light flickers in the hallway. Though the house is empty, a mother's spirit watching over the child she couldn't save. Or maybe just the echo of a story that refuses to die. More than 40 years later, the case remains unsolved. $1 million reward offered, but no answers. The file marked open, the killer, a ghost among the living. Somewhere, he walks free. An ordinary man in a crowd. A man who knows what happened that night and has carried it in silence ever since. Margaret Tapp wanted a better life for her daughter. She worked hard, gave love freely, trusted too easily. Her final act was to protect, though she never got the chance. Seana's dreams ended before they began. 2 lives extinguished. 1 night forgotten by many, but not by those who remember. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the whisper of the cold wind through the trees on Kelvin Drive. The same wind that carried their last breaths. The same silence that covered their cries. And somewhere in that silence lies the truth. A truth waiting to be found. The killer is out there. Maybe watching this story. Maybe remembering that night. Maybe thinking he's safe. But time has a way of revealing what darkness hides. And one day the truth will come. For Margaret, for Seana, for every voice that was silenced and every question that still haunts the night. Until then, their story lives on. 2 names bound by love, remembered by those who still believe in justice. Margaret and Seana Tapp, mother and daughter, gone but not forgotten. May their souls find peace, and may the truth at last find light.